Hi everyone, so welcome to my YouTube channel. So today's topic is on costing and so this topic is to address some of the common questions from my cost and management accounting students. Okay, let's begin. Okay, so what is costing? Costing basically is a technique to compute the cost of producing a good or providing a service. Take for instance a tailor producing a shirt. Each shirt he makes requires some fabric, thread, and not forgetting some of his time. So he would need to know how much is the cost of making this shirt. How much would it be, right? So that, like at the end of the day, after making like 10 shirts, then you would be able to say, how much would the cost of this 10 shirts be. The same goes for a doctor. The doctor offers his time to provide consultation to the patients, and obviously he doesn't do it for free. His time costs money too. Assuming that there is no medication given, the cost of giving that consultation is basically the cost of his time. Now, knowing cost is important because being able to determine cost of a good or service enables the businessman or entrepreneur to decide how best to set selling prices. Take for instance, the cost of a good may be $10. The owner may then decide to set selling prices at 20% on top of the cost. That makes the selling price $12 a unit. And it also helps the owner, to determine the profitability of the product or service. Like for instance, if the selling price is 20, cost is 12, that makes a profit of $8 a unit. However, another alternative product may sell for 25, the cost is 12, that gives a profit of 13. Now obviously, by being able to get such information, the business owner or entrepreneur is able to decide, does he want to continue to sell the first product or the second product, right? He's able to make certain decisions like whether he wants to continue selling a low profitability product or should he change and sell something else. And differing production, right? And you have all kinds of businesses that produces goods and services, and some of these goods are heavily customized. Some of these goods are standardized. Take for instance a company like the Coca-Cola company. The Coca-Cola company doesn't produce one unit at a time. It produces Coke in billions of bottles in a year or cans in a year. Now each unit of production is therefore identical. Now every liter of Coke would be exactly the same in terms of raw material and in terms of conversion cost. And every liter of Coke would also be processed using the same methodology. However, a tailor does not produce hundreds of shirts of the same size and color. Each shirt is customized to fit each different customer. How about laundry shop? A laundry shop would be very much like a Coca-Cola company. The service provided is identical for each customer, assuming that there is no special request for services like dry wash, right? And all these organizations need to determine their respective costs in order to finally be able to determine selling prices. That's key, right? Because if you can't determine a selling price, how do you do things like, for instance, determine profitability? How do you determine how much discounts can you give? Right? And it's important to realize how much is the cost of producing a good or providing a service. Now that's it. Now that sets the ground for my next topic on job costing and process costing, right? And if you remember the example I gave about the tailor, what does the tailor do? The tailor basically produces shirts, and every shirt that he produces is different in terms of shape, size, and so on, maybe color. And the method of making each unit would be very different as well, right? Don't forget, the tailor customizes the shirt to fit the customer, and each customer has slightly different tastes regarding the shirts that they want to wear. Now the same may also apply to a pet groomer. A pet groomer has to cut the uh, dog's fur and uh, or maybe trim the dog's fur, and the type of the amount of trimming and customization is very different for each dog. Why? Because each dog is very different in terms of color, shape, and personality. So it will surely require the groomer to vary his or her techniques for each dog, right? So it's a bit, uh, whenever you see that each unit is different, that means probably job costing is going to be involved. And that's my next topic. Now, earlier on, you remember I told you about the Coca-Cola company, right? And it's not just the Coca-Cola company, but also GSK. Both companies produce large quantities of goods using the same method, and for each unit of output, the raw material and the conversion costs are exactly the same. Right? When I say conversion costs, I'm referring to direct labor and production overheads. Right? So if you produce every unit and they are produced using the same method and using the same raw materials and the same costs, now that leads us to one conclusion that if GSK produces drugs, then every tablet should be identical. So is the cost of each tablet exactly the same. Now, then for the Coke company and GSK, what they'll practice is process costing. Right? And that really is the two types of businesses that we are going to cover more on in my next presentation on job costs and process costs. Right? But basically, these are just methods. If I can summarize, these are just methods to help you determine determine cost of a product, cost of a service. And knowing the cost is important. You remember in my earlier part of the presentation, it's important so that prices can be determined, so that you don't end up setting a price that's too low or too high, right? So I hope that have been informative, and do watch out for my next video on job costs and process costs. And meantime, have a great day. Thank you.